Hey, what's up, everyone? My name's Lionel. I'm your host for LT Productions. You are watching another edition of Soundbite, where we just talk a little bit more intimately about different topics. Normally, it's a solo type of topic. Today, I have a main topic that's also there's a subtopic that is a part of the main, that supports the main topic, basically. So we will be discussing, is there an evolution of Bravo TV in regards to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, or is it just Atlanta has run out of talent in Atlanta? We're going to hear the viewpoints of myself, Mr. Carlos King, and also Mr. Dustin Ross and Claudia Jordan. We're also going to hear an interesting take on the Reasonable Shady podcast that stars Giselle and Robyn. And the main topic is kind of K. Michelle as the one that people are talking about in the media. So I appreciate everyone for coming to my channel. Please like this video. You can subscribe if you are new here. And leave your comments below. Now let's get into the soundbite. Okay, so of course there's been a lot of talk throughout the media streets in regards to the casting choices that have been made. Everything started off first with Kenya Moore, a former housewife of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, who hinted at the casting for this upcoming season, which is season 17 of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She did say that there was a legitimate business person that we all know that has been casted, or at least testing, and also a famous Love and Hip Hop star. Now, season 16, it was already, by some, who have made note that it's starting to look like Love and Hip Hop over here than it is with the Real Housewives of Atlanta, as far as what we know it to be. Is Bravo evolving or stunt casting for ratings? That is the question that's on the table. And are we ready for evolution? Should we shift our minds and allowing different personalities on a different show? Bravo is basically the creme of the creme of reality TV, meaning it's one of the best platforms if you want to get out there and to have a great reach. You can promote your businesses. It fares well for a lot of people, and then it doesn't for other people, because they don't come in here authentically, and then all of your stuff just flops. You're exposed for who you are, and that's just not on Atlanta. That's on a lot of other Bravo shows. Of course, there's always been categories of entertainment and categories of reality TV. It was Atlanta Housewives, Basketball Wives, and then Love and Hip Hop, and all the rest, because a lot of the rest were kind of like family shows or over there on the urban side. I'll just say that much. So we know that K. Michelle from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta and Love and Hip Hop LA or Hollywood. So first and foremost, I actually do love K. Michelle. There were some things that she did yesterday that was just kind of off-putting, and we'll get to that in just a minute. But anyways, the conversation was brought up on Mr. Carlos King's Monday Night Live podcast, where he does have two co-hosts, Dustin Ross, whom you guys may know. He has his own podcast that he does, and has his own comedy show. Of course, the Claudia Jordan, who did do a season of the Atlanta Housewives and has done so many other things before and after Real Housewives. And the conversation came up in regards to K. Michelle and all of her tweets. But we can really get into what Mr. Carlos King and Dustin Ross and Claudia had to say in regards to what Bravo is doing as far as reshaping that franchise, and possibly reshaping how we view different personalities and how reality TV should function. So let's get into it.
I will say this about K. Michelle, and this is the reason why I'm happy if she is doing the show. Hey, legal note. But I'm also happy that she gets a chance. Yeah. I'm going to say this, and it may not be popular, and I don't give a shit. I'm sick and tired of the, excuse me, I'm sick and tired of the archaic ways things used to be done. Yeah. There was a time to where a Love and Hip Hop star would never be graced amongst a housewife show, right? And I'm happy that the sort of invisible ban has has been lifted to give someone like K. Michelle a chance, because to me, where you start is not who you are at the finish line, right? So I dispose of that. I am somebody who believes that just because you started off in one way, we all elevate our lives. We all grow. And I detest, and I'm going to say this too, I don't like when people say, oh my gosh, this show's becoming Love and Hip Hop. At the end of the day, Love and Hip Hop was a force to be reckoned with, and still is for all intents and purposes. But I don't want Black people to divide the shows to where this person fits here and that person fits over there. I think as a community, we are all able to fit in multiple places if it makes sense for us at the time. Now, look, there's some Love and Hip Hop stars who, in my opinion, don't have what it takes right now to be on The Real Housewives based on where they are in their lives. So I don't think it's for everybody. But I think K. Michelle, who's newly married, who has proven that she has graduated from where she is, selling out, multiple venues, having Beyonce Knowles Carter send her a note congratulating her country's success. I think K. Michelle's a good example of the fact that where you start is not where you end up, and I'm happy that she is given a chance to prove that. And look, I think the tweets, in my opinion, I'm gonna move on and have you guys finish it off. I'm not mad at K. Michelle keeping the show alive. I'm not mad at her for having us be entertained by it, because I would rather it be this than what happened last season that we found out and a lot of crazy things happened. So if it's gonna be a tweet, I'd rather a tweet than a pop out. So
I agree. And one more note I want to make really quick is that at the end of the day, this is a docuseries about these women's lives, right? And when you're looking at someone's life, like the evolution of, I used to do this, but now I'm living this way and I can show that I can exist in this space, that's an evolution that makes sense. So while there are new cast members on Love and Hip Hop who may not necessarily fit the profile of what a Real Housewife typically is, it does make sense for someone to exist in the Love and Hip Hop zeitgeist and then evolve into what we know the Real Housewives world to look like. That track makes sense. And if K. Michelle can do that successfully, then more power to her. I'm not a hater. So if that happens for her and she's great on the show, then bring it on, because ultimately it's good for her. It's good for the show. She's a Black woman. It's a Black show. I want to see both entities be successful and see success in this realm. So bring it on. Let's see.
Yeah, and Claudia, before I'm gonna call you to wrap this up. I will say this, and Dustin, I'm not joking.
Okay.
I would like to see Jocelyn Hernandez on The Real Housewives of Miami. No. Okay. All right.
Like how we're on the same page.
Are we?
Non-verbals. Non-verbal.
Non-verbals.
That being said, let me say this. I watch Jocelyn's Cabaret every week. I think that Jocelyn is interesting on television, and I wish her success in the spaces that she occupies. I will say that. I love her show. You know what I'm saying? And she's made me laugh for years.
She's very funny.
Yeah, I'll say that. Now, that Housewives conversation, that's some other shit. You know what I'm saying? But as far as Jocelyn having a space in here, sure.
I love seeing Black and brown people work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, y'all.
All right. Hey, Claudia, you back? Okay, good. All right. So moving on. Claudia, anything you want to add?
As far as Jocelyn or just people?
No, in general. What we talked about. Anything you want to add before I move on?
I'm with the evolution. I think it's cute, but we'll see how it works. I don't know. We'll see how it works. I don't know. I feel like the show's not the show it used to be anyways. It's a different show. The Housewives is just not what it used to be. It's way different anyway, so it's like it's kind of evolved into something else. I almost feel like they need to change the title, because last year, what was it, like 1.2 wives on there? It was just not a lot of wives on there anyways.
What do you think the new title should be, Claudia?
Atlanta Streets.
Claudia!
The streets of Atlanta, because you got all kind of shit going on. You got bitter ex-husbands. You got people shooting guns and threatening people. You got people that are no man. You got men that are trying to get peaches. You got niggas living in, I remember the niggas in Paris, but now we got niggas in basements. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a potpourri, a cornucopia, if you will.
Cornucopia, yes. A horno plenty, yes.
But as far as the housewife and husband dynamic, that we don't have that anymore. Like, we don't have the wealthy man husband and the wealthy housewife that is home and gets to lunch with her friends. You don't have that. You got girls that got to open up, like, all these businesses to try to make it happen. Ex-husbands that ain't paying no bills. You got people in lavender marriages trying to pretend, and you got people that just, like, I don't know. You got men trying to get peaches, but you've always had that. It's not the same. It's not like what it was. Like, I want to get back, like, away from happens fighting. Like, I want it to get where it's like a war of words, where it's like you have to really be smart, and be clever with your words, because anyone can fight. And I think when people say bringing Atlanta Housewives, making it be like Love and Hip Hop, that's what they mean. That's what would separate the show, because people would they would verbally joust, and it would never ever, and no matter what someone say, no one's punching someone. It would just be like, oh, I see your insult and I raise you another one, and you'd be like, oh shit. And I think it takes more restraint to be like that, and that's more brilliant to me than it's easy to just punch a bitch in the mouth. Who cares?
Yeah, very easy. Listen. I would love to see. I ain't even gonna hold you. While yes, there's a profile that exists for what we know the Real Housewives of Atlanta cast members to be. Right, I do want to see a show about the girls in Atlanta that's getting to the money. You know what I'm saying? Running these niggas. I want to see the 304s or the 404. That's what I want to see. You know what I'm saying? I want that show. I don't know where it needs to live. Carlos, who makes television shows and magic. You know, I don't know where it needs to live, but I want to see a show about the get it girls that's out here getting to it, hustling by whatever means, looking good, running niggas. I want to see it. You know what I'm saying? And that might not be the place for them on the Atlanta Housewives, no matter how much you love these women, Carlos, from all walks of life.
Okay, so you heard all their opinions, right? So now we may talk about this Jocelyn Hernandez situation, but put that on the back burner. I do think that Mr. Carlos King does bring up a point of, hey, why don't we step out of this archaic way of moving? Tammy Roman from the Basketball Wives franchise, she said that they would not allow her on Housewives because she was from another show and she had such a big personality, it could overshadow things. This is what I've said in regards to K. Michelle. Do I think that K. Michelle is a team player? Yes, I do. Her personality and the weight that she carries, I think, could overpower the show. And because Bravo is just gung-ho on making Portia the anchor, which I don't think that she has any anchor capabilities within her, really it's going to be, in a way, like the K. Michelle show, in my opinion. From what I've seen from just this past season, and how I know how things trend with some of these ladies, they are lazy. They'll let other people do all the heavy lifting and kind of just reap the benefits. Some have been fan favorites and hardly did nothing. It's interesting to me, you know. Some people could be seen as the villain, and they're not even the villain. They're calling out the BS, and somehow they're the villain, the bullies and all that. We've seen it all on Atlanta many seasons. So, hey. But yeah, I think that having how I'm seeing it before it even starts, it's going to be more of the K. Michelle show, and very few actually doing any work on this show. And to me, I feel like it's a slap in the face to viewers. Bravo, you just did a reboot. And you already got to switch up casting because you really didn't vet these people like you really say that you do. Now, we see how things are on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. They got Kathy Hilton over there. They got Jennifer Tilly now. Star Power. Boz, whom we're just getting to know. I didn't know anything about her, but, you know. I think legitimately that works for that type of atmosphere. Whom did they have? They had Eileen Davidson and Lisa Brenna, who are actresses. That is their professional background. I think they started back in season 5 of Beverly Hills. I know them both from TV, and I've watched them on Days of Our Lives and Eileen on Young and Restless. So at least I was familiar with them. They gave something totally different to the franchise and kind of gave Beverly Hills the boost that they needed. Denise Richards, who's a movie icon for her time, and helped boost things for that reality show. But again, that's Hollywood. That's Beverly Hills. I can see that. On Atlanta, I don't know. I feel like it's a place where stars are born, in my opinion. I think that Kenya Moore flipped the script when she joined and totally shifted the way Housewives was viewed. And we had an actual blueprint of how reality shows should go. I've said this forever and a day, and will continue to say this. I think that Atlanta has always been the blueprint. They don't get the credit. Other people try to steal it. They don't get the credit. But they had everything that we needed to make a show. And different personalities, and everybody played their part. At least back then, you know. So, Dustin Moore agreed with it. Like, hey, let's go for it. Claudia is for it, but she's like, let's see how this actually works. That's where I'm at with it. I agree more with Claudia. Let's see where this goes, because we don't know how this is really going to really shape it. But it just seems so. To me, it's stunt casting, and it's nothing against K. Michelle, because you had this reboot and it flopped. Was it a total flat pancake? No. But I knew if they just continued on in the path that they were going to go for season 17, it wasn't going to amount to much. You lost 2 players of the biggest story of the season, and y'all didn't even play that out right, which was very weird. But I guess if they can start over, but you have some. Let me stop. Let me stay on topic. Let me stay on topic, because I was about to go into another rant. But yeah, it's more of a we'll see what happens type of thing, because this is totally new. It would be nice if Bravo would make a statement as to where they are going. We're sitting up here rationalizing and coming up with our own, okay, this is what Bravo's doing. And I just don't think that that's the way that it should go, especially when you have this major cast change and now got to hurry up and switch up again. It's very weird to me. So we're going to move on to something else, because it's still in the realm of K. Michelle and also Angel. I was about to call her Reese, but Angel, that's on Married to Medicine. Giselle Bryant and Robyn Dixon, they host their own podcast called Reasonably Shady. And it got picked up on the blogs on what they wanted to comment on in regards to seeing that K. Michelle and Angel have been casted on their respective shows, The Real Housewives of Atlanta and Married to Medicine. Robyn sparked up a question of, is Atlanta running out of people? And that struck a lot of fire, and social media went ablaze. So let's listen to what both of these ladies have to say, and I'll come right back with what I need to say.
Speaking of Atlanta, yes, I love Atlanta-ish. I think Atlanta has run out of people. No. What do you mean run out of people? So apparently, Real Housewives of Atlanta has K. Michelle from Love and Hip Hop on their show.
Okay, you have to clarify that though. Okay, but we're gonna speak to that. But go ahead.
And Married to Medicine has Angel from Basketball Wives on their show. Atlanta has run out of people.
Okay, Angel from Basketball
She was a nurse. Really pretty girl.
Who is she married? Who's the basketball wife she's married to?
Are any of them ever married to a basketball
dealing
player?
with?
I don't know. I just know that she was on Basketball Wives like a number of seasons ago.
Okay.
And it might have been like the LA version.
Is Married to Medicine supposedly, allegedly filming now? Are they filming now?
I guess so. I saw a picture of her filming a confessional for Married to Medicine.
Oh, wow. Okay. So are we renting and recycling?
That's what it looks like. So I'm like, out of all the people in Atlanta, now they're like, I really thought the network or the shows tried to like avoid crossovers from different networks.
True.
But I am like, Atlanta is running out of people because you're using people from other networks now.
But that's when but 85, it stays on traffic, so they're not running out of people.
Right.
They got plenty of people in Atlanta.
Right, with 6 lanes, but 12 lanes across.
Yes, I do want to say, and the traffic is traffic morning, noon, and night. Like, it don't stop.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about K. Michelle really quickly.
Okay.
And this is allegedly, we do not know, because it has not been said officially that she's on the show. I'm not mad at it. I feel like, at first I was like, what? K. Michelle, that's weird. But out of the Love and Hip Hop, because you know I'm a Love and Hip Hop girl.
Right.
So out of the Love and Hip Hop world, there are very few people that I feel like have left that behind them and have gone on to do so many other things that it really wasn't a factor.
But she was already somebody before Love and Hip Hop. She was already who she was before Love and Hip Hop.
Is that a question?
No, I'm telling you.
Oh, you're telling me?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think those people can come and go.
Okay.
And then you have people, Cardi B is one who was pretty much created on Love and Hip Hop.
Yes,
and
totally.
then now she's somebody else. But I think K. Michelle already had her career.
That's what I'm saying. So her being a housewife, she's married now. Her being a housewife, I'm not mad at it.
So you're saying Love and Hip Hop doesn't define her?
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So I'm actually here for it.
Okay.
For K. Michelle. Okay. If that is happening allegedly, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's just like when I saw that, and then it was K. Michelle. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And then it was when I saw this other girl, Angel, was filming Married to Medicine. I'm like, okay, what is going on here?
They ran out of people.
Okay. I didn't think it was possible, but they did.
All right, y'all. So, y'all hear what they had to say. Okay. I just need people who actually watch The Real Housewives of Potomac, who may not like the Green-Eyed Bandits. Can y'all step out of that for just 1 second? Are you with me? You follow me? What did they say wrong? One, they are commentators on a podcast, and they're talking about a topic. To strike up a conversation, Robyn used, are they running out of people in Atlanta? Okay? Let's get the topic rolling. Can we roll off ideas and thoughts as to what is really going on in Atlanta? It is a shock to us. Like, what are we doing? This is not a part of the script. The gates seem to be open and allowing different ones to come on in. And I'll ask the question a little bit later. Should we allow the gate to be open? Because we'll still talk about Jocelyn a little bit later. But anyways, she opened it up. She never said anything wrong about K. Michelle. She never put down Angel. However, social media decided to bait, and I said bait and mean it, K. Michelle to come on social media and to react as she did. So, I am going to read what she had to say. So K. Michelle responded by saying, "Why be so worried about me and my overly educated and successful self and what I might be doing? Robyn, you ran out of a job a long time ago. You would love to be recycled, you little couch potato. Just yapping. You should have ran through that hotel lobby where your husband was, lady. Giselle, you look beautiful. Leave me alone and let me go yodel in peace. I'm around here selling out shows and you selling baseball hats, but you worried about me and what I might be doing. The nerve of this couch potato." I honestly don't understand where that response came from. Now, y'all probably gonna say, well, you can't control how people want to respond when you come at them. Robyn didn't come at them. Somehow, y'all decided to make it shade based on one thing. Are they running out of people? And their whole thing was, okay, why are they just shifting around people and talent from different shows? Of course, we got a broader explanation from Mr. Carlos King and Dustin and Claudia in regards to that whole situation and how we should embrace it. That is cool. Robyn didn't say anything. Now, for some reason, Giselle got a blessing from K. Michelle. Even though Giselle said, are we rinsing and recycling over here? All because Giselle said at the end, I support it. They brought up a topic. It was no shade towards you, K. Michelle, and I don't care who is a fan of yours. And I really wish you had not taken the bait from social media. And to me, it feels like that you just wanted to perform and do something for the audience. I know you to be authentic, but you're too performative. We've seen too much of you because of your other rants that you've been going on. Of course, we can't decipher on if the tweets that you're actually saying is about the show or not. We can give you that. However, it seems like you are, since you are taping and then making all of these replies. And for me, I would love for you to cut it out. And it's annoying because I know that you're being performative. And it can come off as a try hard. We already had Marlo trying hard. And you see how she flopped. Yeah, it wasn't called for. Now, K. Michelle, since you're on reality again, and now that you are married, make sure every T is crossed and I is dotted. Because you want to come after her marriage and stuff. Hopefully, and you're newly married. Congratulations, I believe. I heard you were newly married. But I know you're married. I don't know if it's really new. You're going to have to talk about that. Hopefully you are okay when people start coming for your marriage. I just think it was so uncalled for. And you gave no smoke to Giselle, as most people do not do. So, yeah. So, is there room for Jocelyn Hernandez? Who you coughing at? To come onto the Housewives. As Mr. Carlos said that he wants her on here. Why? I mean, should someone from Baddies come over here? For K. Michelle, I think her life is elevated and she could present more than what Love and Hip Hop was giving. So I can see why she's legitimate over here. Again, this isn't a bash. However, I'm not liking your social media presence at this point because it's going to mess up everything. And then I'm going to look like I'm not a real fan because I have stuff to say about Atlanta when it comes out next season. But yeah, all I can say is that we'll see what happens. I can say that for me, I'm more negative than positive. It could change. I'm more of a glass is half empty type of thing, because I feel like, I mean, the Housewives franchise is on its last leg, and some of the shows are living on borrowed time. If Bravo is really smart and is really in this evolution phase, cool, do what you need to do. But whatever. That's all I do have. Y'all give your comments. You want Hosling on the show, on one of these Housewives shows? You think that she's good enough to be on here? Or anyone else? Or who would you like to see that now that the gate seems to be open on the show? Who should be on Housewives? Should Housewives go to other shows? I mean, does the gates swing both ways? Since we're breaking the barriers, or are we just trying to get the more less considered ones up to the top? Y'all let me know what y'all thought. What did you think about Robyn and Giselle's comments? Do you think that she was really trying to tear down K. Michelle? Because all I saw was praise. But anyways, y'all let me know. That's all I do have. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Soundbite. Please hit that like button, subscribe, and until the next one, peace.